The United States is enormous in for all its open roads and national parks and freedom of movement pride. There are corners of this country that are completely, officially, and sometimes violently off limits to you. No matter who you are, what you do, or how nicely you ask. These are some forbidden places in the US you'll never be able to see. Area 51, Lincoln County, Nevada. Let's start with the obvious one because it earned its place on this list. Area 51 is a classified United States Air Force installation located within the Nevada Test and Training Range. The CIA didn't even publicly acknowledge its existence until 2013. For decades, the government just pretended it wasn't there, which, if you think about it, is an unusual strategy for something surrounded by warning signs, armed guards, and motion sensor perimeter fencing. The base sits on the dry bed of Groom Lake, about 83 miles northwest of Las Vegas. The restricted airspace above it is called R4808N, and it is one of the most tightly controlled patches of sky in the country. You can't fly over it. You can't drive to the gate without being photographed, followed, and asked to leave. And the guards, officially referred to as camouflage dudes by locals, are authorized to use deadly force. What actually goes on inside? Mostly, it seems, the testing of classified aircraft. The U-2 spy plane was developed there. So was the SR-71 Blackbird, probably the B-2 stealth bomber. Programs so classified that pilots who accidentally strayed near the airspace during Cold War training were simply told nothing and kept quiet. The conspiracy theories are a different matter. Alien spacecraft, reverse engineered technology, underground levels. None of that has been substantiated, but the secrecy around the place has been so complete for so long that the theories filled a very understandable vacuum. When you won't tell people anything, they'll come up with their own answers. In September 2019, a Facebook event called Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of US, attracted over 2 million RSVPs. The actual event drew about 6,000 people to the desert. Nobody stormed anything. The government was mildly amused, and the town of Rachel, Nevada made some money selling alien-themed merchandise. The nearest public vantage point is a dirt pull-up along Nevada State Route 375, officially designated the extraterrestrial highway by the state in 1996. From there, on a clear day, you can see aircraft taking off and landing. What kind of aircraft is harder to determine, which is partly the point. Workers at the facility reportedly fly in and out on unmarked passenger planes from Las Vegas, a fleet that locals call Janet Airlines. The plane exists, the flight paths are registered, the destination is listed as classified. It's all hiding in plain sight, which may be the most Area 51 thing about Area 51. If you're enjoying this video and want to help us out, please don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for your watching. Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, Bluemont, Virginia, not far from Washington, D.C., buried inside a mountain in the Blue Ridge Range, as a facility most Americans have never heard of, and that's intentional. Mount Weather is operated by FEMA and serves as the primary continuity of government site for the United States. In plain terms, if there is a catastrophic event and the federal government needs to keep functioning, this is where senior officials go. It has its own power supply, water system, and reportedly a hospital, crematorium, and radio and TV broadcast capability. The existence of the facility was barely acknowledged until a plane crashed nearby in 1974, first officials to mention it. Even then, Congress wasn't given full details. A Senate subcommittee tried to investigate in 1975 and was flatly refused access. Senator John Cowell reportedly said at the time that the facility's power were of such unknown scope that they warranted serious examination. He didn't get one. The surface area of Mount Weather includes administrative buildings, helipads, and communication towers. The underground complex is the real facility, and its layout, size, and full capabilities remain classified. The road leading to the main entrance has security checkpoints. The perimeter is fenced and monitored. You are not getting in. The Bohemian Grove, Monterey, California. Every summer for about 2 weeks in July, a private campground in the redwood forests of Sonoma County becomes one of the most exclusive gatherings on earth. The Bohemian Club, founded in San Francisco in 1872, holds its annual encampment at Bohemian Grove, a 2,700-acre property about 75 miles north of San Francisco. Attendance is mail only and by invitation only. The membership has historically included sitting U.S. presidents, corporate executives, military brass, and media figures. Richard Nixon once called it the most Gottman thing you could ever imagine, which he meant critically and which tells you a great deal more about Richard Nixon than about Bohemian Grove. The gathering opens with a ritual called the cremation of care, in which a mock effigy is burned in front of a 40-foot concrete owl statue on the shore of a lake. This sounds strange because it is strange. Members insist it's theatrical, a symbolic casting aside of worldly concerns before a holiday in the woods. Critics have found it more alarming. Philip Weiss, a journalist who infiltrated the event in 1989, wrote a lengthy account for Spy magazine describing the atmosphere as part old boys club, part summer camp, part something harder to categorize. The club vigorously guards the perimeter and has sued to remove protesters and trespassers. Women have been banned from membership throughout its history, a policy that has faced repeated legal challenges. A partial guest list over the years reads like a who's who of 20th century American power. Herbert Hoover, Dwight Eisenhower, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, Henry Kissinger, Colin Powell, Caspar Weinberger. Nixon attended before his presidency and later recorded his dismissive comments about it in a conversation that only became public after the Watergate tapes were released. The point is not that anything nefarious is happening among the redwoods. The point is that the most powerful men in the country have been meeting privately in a restricted forest every summer for over 150 years, and you will never be invited. If you're enjoying this video and want to help us out, please don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for your watching. Room 6418, AT and T Building, San Francisco, California. This one doesn't look like much from the outside, It's a room inside an AT&T facility on Folsom Street in San Francisco. Room 6418, unmarkable, except that it's one of the most significant surveillance sites ever revealed in American history. In 2006, former AT&T technician Mark Klein went public with documents showing that the NSA had secretly installed equipment in room 6418, equipment capable of intercepting and copying the internet traffic of AT&T's customers, all of it. The room contained a device called an Norus STA6400 capable of analyzing traffic at 10 gigabits per second. It was connected to a fiber optic splitter that copied all data passing through the facility. This was years before Edward Snowden. The Electronic Frontier Foundation filed suit. Congress eventually passed the FISA Amendment Act in 2008, which retroactively granted the telecoms legal immunity for their participation. The lawsuits were dismissed. Room 6418 is not a tourist attraction. It's a working telecommunication facility with no public access, but it represents something worth knowing, that some of the most consequential spaces in America are not dramatic mountain bunkers or desert bases. Sometimes they're just a locked room in an office building, doing something most people never found out about until someone decided not to stay quiet. Granite Mountain Records Vault, Little Cottonwood Canyon, Utah. About 25 miles southeast of Salt Lake City, carved into the granite of the Wasatch Mountains as a vault that holds what may be the largest collection of genealogical records in the world. The Granite Mountain Records Vault belongs to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Construction was completed in 1965. The vault is sealed behind 14 tons doors and goes 600 feet into the mountain. It is temperature and humidity controlled to preserve microfilm, digital records, and other archival materials. The church has been microfilming births, marriage, and death records from civil and religious archives around the world since the 1930s. Over 3 billion images total. The theological motivation is specific to LDA doctrine, which permits proxy baptism for deceased ancestors. To perform those ordinances, you need records. So church has spent nearly a century systematically photographing the records of the dead across dozens of countries. The vault is not open to the public. Only authorized church personnel enter the secured area. Some records stored here are accessible digitally through Family Search, the church's genealogy platform. But the vault itself, with its enormous archive and its sealed granite chambers, is off limits to anyone not employed by the institution. Thank you for your watching. If you are enjoying this video and want to help us out, please give this a like and comment for the algorithm, cause it will really help the channel out a lot. Thank you so much.